Well, hello. I want to talk about a device that I've been seeing for years on TV and on ads and whatnot. It's called the Easy Chord method, Easy Chord actually attachment, as seen on TV. Play the guitar today. Fits any guitar, complete with songbook, instructional tape, and a cassette tape. And I think now it comes with a CD. So here it is, and here's the device that's on the guitar itself. And this is on my Epiphone J160 guitar, and you can see it has these screws here. And basically what you do is you put it over the first fret, that device on the first fret of it, you screw it in on top of it. Then you tune your guitar to standard tuning, having the first fret be the open E. So for some guitars that works out well. This one I was actually kind of is getting out of tune a little bit, so I actually had been fighting it for the last day or so. And also I learned this by putting it on and off a few times, is that you need to turn the screws together to make sure it's nice and even and tight on it. And if you can see on here, I know there's not a lot of space on it, but if you look on here, basically it's got 4 places that you can put down chords on. If you look on here, there's basically like 4 places that you can put chords. It has 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can play 2 different keys with it. This is the D shape here. This here is the G shape. This here is the A shape. And this here is the E shape. And if you look on the side there, you can kind of see when it's pressed down what's happened. There's a G shape, that's the D shape, that's the A shape, and that's the E shape. And so it's pressing down different frets on it to be able to enable it. So here's the D chord, G chord, and an A chord. And here's the if in the key of A, D, and E, and A. And if you notice, there's a little bit of buzzing going on. And when I'm figuring this, what I always tell people when I teach them how to play guitar, get as close to your fingers as you can to the fret itself. Well, on here, as you can see, here's the A shape here. I'm trying to get it where you can kind of see it. It's kind of like halfway in between the fret itself. See that? Yeah, so it didn't quite get there. That's one reason why, if it was a little bit closer to the fret, it would be a little bit better sounding, I think. And I think if I got this up to the 5th fret or so, that'd be fine. That's just too high for me to sing or want to try this out on. And basically, what I wish they would have done was made this a little bit bigger for the 1st fret, where I just fit on the 1st fret, and you just kind of kept it in the key of D and the key of A, which are 2 guitar keys that are fine on the guitar, that sound fine on the guitar, and so forth. But when it gets up here, I just don't sound. I just can't sing this high in this pitch here, and it's hard enough for me to. I kind of originally just kept a D tune, but I'm expecting when I finger a D chord that I want to hear a D chord, not a D flat chord or E flat chord on there. So the device, it comes with a book. At least this particular one came with a little bit of a book. And it has some songs on there. And on there, basically, it has it where it has like numbers on there. And that just tells you what number to press down on the 4 chords here. And so, like, I'll do a song that I think most people would know. There aren't a whole lot of songs on here that I think most people know. But here's Swing Low. I'll usually sing it in the key of D, but I'll try. Swing, swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. So it does work for that. I want to say that, I'll do Rose Susanna a little bit because I think everybody knows that one. I come from Alabama with my banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana for my true love for to see. It rained all night the day I left, the weather was so dry. The sun so hot it froze to death. Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. I'm going to Louisiana with my banjo on my knee. So you can see I'm using this one finger to move around. I did play around with this for the last couple of days, and I found if I'm in the key of A, I can actually kind of alternate better if I am doing that. And you really need to press down right where the little indentation of the number's at to get the best sound out of that particular thing. Now this thing retails for about $20 range, and honestly this piece of plastic here really could be, I don't know, $5 or $6 at most, and you probably could sell a bunch of it. I almost say this, if you're going to put some attachment on your guitar, you can play around with different tunings, and you can do like an open E tuning or open G tuning, and open D, open E, open well, G, those three tunings, and basically you just put your finger down over the whole fret, and then you have open, and then you can play your songs that way. And I was thinking this device here, if you have arthritis or you're a little bit older, you can't get your fingers, your gross motor skills aren't there, or if you're really young and your gross motor skills aren't there yet, that this is not a bad device for that. However, I don't think it's ready for prime time. I don't think I'd play a gig with this. I could, but it sounds really tinny. Like when I put my fingers down, because I'm putting them over the fret, you know, this has that sound, and I can't pull it any more closer to the, because I have this little device as close to the net as possible. So that's my review for this easy chord mechanism. It's not a bad thing if you have a guitar and you don't know how to play chords that well, or your fingers doesn't work that well. I think it's something that you could use, and you can definitely, if you're just doing like 2-chord songs, I think that you'll be fine. I would say this to the people that made it: if you would add number 5 and have a C chord on here, that way you can play in 3 different keys, and you really wouldn't have to move it at all. That way you can play in the key of G, key of A, key of D, and those are some really good open keys for a guitar anyways. And if you could add a B chord on there, then you can play in the key of E also. So if you could add 2 more chords on here, you can play in 4 keys very easily, and so forth. You can't play in minor. These are all major chords, so you can't play in minor. Okay, so let's see if I can do, there's 1, 2 a 4, back to 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, and 1. Now I did find one little thing that's kind of cool if you're into suspensions, which I use suspensions a lot. I hold down that D, and I just use my other finger. And I don't know, I'm not sure if that's really something that was meant to do that. And also on the A chord, I get the suspension, and even on the E. The G chord, you're kind of out of luck with that. You gotta hold by itself. So if you can use 2 fingers, you can get that suspension chord going on, and that actually sounds pretty cool with that as well on that. So the easy chord device, I say if you have 20 bucks and you have a guitar that you never touched, this might be an easy way to kind of start playing guitar. If you can take guitar lessons or learn 3 chords, and I'd say learn the chords in the key of G, you can almost do as much device with this here, and there are easy chords you can use with 1 finger anyways with standard tuning. Or you can use some alternative tunings and basically just put your fingers all over, you know, this basically flat and do that to it, and you play some chords if you have it detuned to a different tuning. So for 20 bucks, not a bad thing. It looks like it'll hold up for at least a little while. It's made out of plastic, so it's, you know, it will break. And the hardest thing, if you do get this device, make sure you turn these together at the same time, because I had the dickens of a time getting this thing on, and I finally had to unscrew it and get it on there, and then finally just do it together. And I also you have to kind of get it at the right area also, so you need to look at there and make sure this little indentation, it goes in between these 2 strings here, and it helps out. So there it is there, the easy chord attachment, and I think they still make them, and you can see them on eBay and whatnot. Anyways, bye everybody, hope you enjoyed this.